Welcome back, yelling and screaming NFL Week 8, which means we are just about halfway through the season. Sean, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad about yourself.
I was good until I just realized we're halfway through the NFL season, and now I'm feeling just a little sad.
It's okay, it's okay. Honestly, nothing worth having is going to last forever. So the beauty of the NFL season is that it comes and goes. We get to celebrate it while it's here. We make sure every week we go to brunch, we have fun, we sit with our friends, we yell and scream, and when the season's over, we have something to look forward to next year. So I'm uh, I'm excited that at least we get to have the time change, which is about to come up, which is going to be great.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
If you're a
yeah.
longtime viewer of this show, you will know that even though Arizona doesn't change time, we are really the only ones that the time change affects, and it is mostly negative, except sweet, sweet November every year when we are only 1 hour off of God's time and 2 hours off the East Coast versus now where it is just unbearable.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me for most of the time, but once football season starts and I'm like, damn, I got to be up in a atom game time at 10, and then you're like, oh wait, it's 11 now. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I get really excited for the time change. Just makes football a little bit easier to watch, a little more palatable, and yeah, you can make it to brunch.
Well, and it still ends at like a reasonable time at night. Because that's
Oh
the
yeah,
one nice thing about the 2 hour time difference off of Central during the beginning of the year is that the Sunday night, Monday night games are over at like a really reasonable time.
like 8 o'clock. It's pretty sweet.
I would say, Sean, with the short season, that we don't have the problem that you see in the NBA, which is where superstar players just don't play some
Hmm.
games. But we're seeing a little bit in the NFL. I'll bury the lead there because I want to talk about it a little more at length as we get into
Mm.
our game of the week this week. But pretty good slate. Thursday's night game was a blowout, quite frankly. Uh, Chargers beat the Vikings 37-10. Um, I mean, this was bad. The Chargers really came out and
It was.
performed in the way I think you and I have been expecting them to perform, and they really
Mhm.
haven't delivered on that promise overall. I mean, they really put everything together here. Still turned the ball over, still had drives where they looked a little lost. But I mean, this is closer to what I think we thought the Chargers were going to be this year.
The expectation for the Chargers this year was very high. They came in with a top tier offense. They brought back Keenan Allen, and they had all the pieces in place on defense to have a phenomenal season to take the lead from the Chargers in that AFC West. We just seen inconsistency from them. They don't seem to get it together at all times. And if you tell me that the Chargers beat the Vikings, who the Kevin O'Connell system doesn't work if you don't have a good game manager, if you don't have a good run game and a stout defense, it just doesn't work. So, I mean, Wentz is probably the fourth, fifth, sixth quarterback randomly to pop into that system over the last couple of years. I mean, yeah, you had Darnold in there. McCarthy, you were hoping was going to be able to finally do it. So now you're like, all right, now I got a 17. Now I got another guy in here, and it just doesn't seem like he's got it where he needs to be again. So the Vikings are a shell of themselves in the past couple of years. We've seen them as one of the better teams in the NFC in the last 3 years. Record wise, anyway. Obviously, a lot of people didn't have the most confidence. So if you tell me the Chargers beat them 37-10, I'm not surprised. The problem for me is that the Chargers lose the week before, get their ass bust by the Viking or by the Colts. So you can't tell me that the Chargers are where they need to be right now. I think that they have a ways to go, but they have all the pieces in place. I mean, 100-yard rusher, quarterback throws for 3 touchdowns. It looked easy for them this week, realistically, against a Viking teams that isn't just on the same level. So I'm just not convinced that they're really where they need to be in that division and in that conference. It just doesn't look consistent enough for me.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean your point about the Vikings is relevant. I I struggle. I don't like JJ McCarthy. I didn't think he was good in college. I don't think he's an NFL caliber quarterback. The drop off from McCarthy to Wentz cannot be that drastic, right? If McCarthy plays that game, it's probably still 37-10. So I'm concerned about the Vikings as a whole, right? You have a world-beating top 3 wide receiver, and that's kind of it. Their defensive secondary is softer than we've seen it look in recent history, and their run defense is not great. So yes, you're on your backup quarterback. Conceptually, your starting quarterback is better. I am not sure that it matters because there are so many other missing pieces on this team. Even second and third wide receivers are weaker than league average. So I'm just not sure the Vikings have everything they need to be good if McCarthy comes back.
Oh, it's definitely a team sport, and the biggest thing for me, I think, is the game management. You need a quarterback who's not going to make mistakes. He can't take sacks in tough situations. Would they give up 3 sacks last game and significantly more yards than they would have liked on some sacks there? And they also turnovers. Obviously, you can't have that. But at the end of the day, like you have to take care of the ball. You have to put the ball in the right places at the right times. And I think that that's their goal for McCarthy. I think he was like that at Michigan. Like I don't think that he was going to be a guy who needed to throw for 300 yards to win the game. And so I think that that's kind of what the Vikings expected from him. If he can come in and play the same way that Darnold did, then their team is built around that style of play. The secondary is definitely not as good as it was before. 100%. They definitely don't have the same run game that they had. They had much more reliable run game in the last couple of years. So it just doesn't feel the same. So I definitely think that they obviously need to fix some pieces there, but you got to take care of the ball. And I think that that's the biggest drop off is Wentz gives you flashes of himself, older Wentz, that Eagles Wentz running around the field, making him look like he's going to make a lot of plays. But sometimes that's a hindrance, especially if your offensive line isn't really ready for that style of play. If they're much more of, if your offensive line is geared towards your quarterback staying in the pocket and making smart decisions versus a guy who's going to be moving around everywhere, then it definitely changes your style of play. And I think that's the difference between McCarthy and Wentz. I don't think that McCarthy is expected to be a guy who's going to force a lot of plays to happen and try to make a lot of things happen on his feet. I think he's expected to be a smart quarterback. And I just know I've never really felt that way about Wentz. I feel like he's much more of a, hey, I got to make things happen. And so it's a detriment in a lot of times, depending on how your team is built.
Yeah, and I guess to be fair to Carson Wentz, which is not something we have to do, but the offensive line sucks. He was injured coming into the game. I have trouble placing it all on his plate when it's a systemic issue. It wasn't pretty.
It was not pretty, but it's real.
Are we going to get a Thursday night game that's good?
I don't think so. I mean, if you're a Chargers fan, it's a great game. If you're a Chargers fan, it was a great game.
Going all the way back to those piss and blue Jaguars Titans color rush games, it's I feel like just Thursday games are just not good. I don't know if it's a short week or what. We got some games coming up. Thanksgiving. Obviously the Lions and the Cowboys play, and then they play each other the next Thursday. So that would be like a full week of rest for both teams. If that Thursday game is good, like maybe then there's something to this short week thing, but they've not been entertaining.
I don't know. I always thought that the NFL could do a much better job when it came to the Thursday games. I think that there's just the way that they schedule them. If you could build it around the idea of the bye week and give people that time to do the bye. So if your Thursday games are kind of, you have one, maybe 2 Thursday games, even if you just have one, but that kind of works as a bye almost because you get the extra time or you get the short time depending on how you map it out. I just think that they haven't done a good job with that. Like sometimes you have a team who comes off a 4-day week, 4-day week, and it's like, why are they playing again right now? And then you've got teams who take a really long stretch and you're like, oh shit, I haven't seen them in forever. It just kind of feels weird with the Thursday games, the way that they've scheduled them. So I think that they can do a much better job on it. And also, I think just the excitement of the games, it just doesn't feel the same depending on the competition. Thursday games should realistically be divisional games. They should almost always be divisional games, if not contender games, but divisional games will always give you the best option no matter who they're playing against each other because teams typically play each other pretty well. You have 2 random teams, AFC, NFC against each other, opposite sides of the country. It's like, what was the point of that? If you give me Raiders, Chiefs as a Thursday night game, it's probably going to be a pretty decent game. even though the Raiders don't play well a lot.
That's the nicest way anyone's ever said that about the Raiders.
Hey, black hole, baby, all day.
We went back and forth a little bit on our game of the week. There was one that I really wanted because I wanted to have the conversations we're about to have. Bears and Ravens. Obviously, Lamar has been declared out. The Ravens are 2.5-point home favorites over the Bears. And Sean, my leading question for you is, would it even matter if Lamar played in this game? Or are we going to get the same game plan, the same outcome regardless?
It absolutely matters if Lamar plays in this game. That's an MVP right there. That man is the field general for that team. The difference in the drop-off of skill between Lamar Jackson and Huntley or Cooper Rush or whoever the hell else is back there is astronomical. His ability to move around the field, to make plays down the field, is something that you do not. It's a generational talent at quarterback in Lamar Jackson. For anybody talking about the accuracy issues, sometimes I think that he's a pretty damn good quarterback, and the NFL typically agrees. My biggest issue right now is that without Lamar Jackson, the team becomes one-dimensional. And if the team is one-dimensional, all you got to do is stop Derrick Henry. So what do you do with a team who's one-dimensional with a bad defense? You just got to stop. You got to stop. You got to stack the box. You stop Derrick Henry. And if you're the Bears and Caleb Williams, this is your game to win. Point blank. Period. Like the back half of their schedule looks scary, in my opinion. It looks like it's going to be tough. So any game that they can eke out now, I mean, I think that they could lose 6 out of 7 on the back half. Like it's not going to be an easy back half for them. So anything that you can eke out right now, any wins that you can take, especially on a Baltimore team that I don't know how they have they're 2.5-point favorite just because they're home. Like, no, they've been a shell of themselves this season. And it's really a testament to their defense. Their defense has been bad for the last couple years. They've been a team who will lose a game that they score 40 points in, or win a game that they score 40 points in, but only because they gave up 38.
So, all right, there's a couple ways I want to go about this. you just talked about the defense, so I'll let Lamar off the hook for right now. So I'll give you this one. The AFC North is the worst defensive division in professional football. This used to be the black and blue division with the great defenses. The Ravens suck. The Steelers suck. The Browns suck. The Bengals are atrocious. That's just the defensive side of the ball for these teams.
Yep.
This might be the worst division.
And just what? A couple years ago, they were the best division in football. They've been known for that, the pedigree. It's been years and years of these guys. The Ray Lewis, the fucking, those years of they had such good defenses back in the day, and now it's just like, okay, you got a Myles Garrett and you got a TJ Watt, and that's pretty much all you're going to get from the whole division.
Believe it or not, I am not in Lamar Jackson's inner circle. However, Bills 41, Ravens 40. Ravens 41, Browns 17. Lions 38, Ravens 30. Chiefs 37, Ravens 20. And then this MVP caliber quarterback who held out for more money in the offseason decides he's done playing. He doesn't want to play anymore. Texans 44, Ravens 10. Defense finally shows up against a decimated Rams team. And now you got a home game against the Bears, and Lamar doesn't want to play. That, to me, speaks volumes about his character when they have lost every single playoff team they've played against this year. And it is in spite of his talents. He's physically gifted, right? He puts up the stats. But what's the only stat that matters in the NFL?
Winning.
And he doesn't do it. He's not a winner. He's a phenomenally gifted athlete and a talented quarterback. He's not a winner. And sitting out games when you held out in the offseason, the optics are so bad when you're not a winner. I hate that that's the conversation I have to have with this guy because he's a phenomenal quarterback.
I definitely don't necessarily agree with him not being a winner, but I will say this. He has not made it to the biggest stage in the game, and that's all that really matters. The NFL has two winners right now in Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. Those are the only two quarterbacks that are winners right now in the NFL. Everybody else is taking a back seat. And until somebody beats one of those two guys in a AFC championship and or NFC championship or Super Bowl, no one else's name really matters. I don't give a shit about Justin Herbert. I don't give a shit about Joe Flacco. I don't give a shit about Jaden Daniels. I don't care. None of the other quarterbacks' names matter until they beat those two guys. So when we talk about Lamar, the man does have two MVPs. Could have had a third. He's the same category as Josh Allen. The only difference is that people keep saying that Josh Allen's going to do it every single year. And people would say that Lamar is good enough, but he's not really built for the big game. And I watch both those guys lose in the playoffs every single year to Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, they got to get over that hump. The difference is the Bills kind of seem to get it together a little bit more than Baltimore does, but it's the difference between those two teams to me is one game. It's one game. It's whether or not you make the AFC Championship and lose, or you lose in the AFC divisional round. That's it. It's the same guy. Good on his feet.
I think that's fair.
Good on his feet, can throw the ball. Good on his feet, can throw the ball, can make people miss in open space, and also has a good running back and a not so great defense. If you flip quarterbacks in each one of these, they'd be the same team. They'd pretty much be the same team.
Well,
so
and we saw it, right? I mean, we saw it week one.
Exactly. So the same way you call Lamar Jackson's not a winner, he's not a winner on the biggest stage. But the man, he plays some damn good football. I think that there's elements to his team that needs to assist. I mean, you say what you want about the Eagles. People talk about Jalen Hurts not being a top 5 quarterback, a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But guess what? The man wins. He wins football games. And so it comes down to how you contribute to your team in the best way possible in the most important moments. And the biggest issue with the Ravens is they score early, and then they have to game manage. And when you have to game manage, your whole game plan is off. Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback if you need somebody to score touchdowns. He's not a good quarterback if you need somebody to game manage. If you need somebody to slow the game down.
Which was the point of signing Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but it doesn't work because he becomes one-dimensional. But the team becomes one-dimensional when they get a lead, and everyone knows that.
But if you get a lead and you have Derrick Henry, you shouldn't struggle to maintain that lead. Like, it doesn't matter if you're one-dimensional. The guy is 7 feet tall and 300 pounds.
But it doesn't matter if they just stack the box because you're going to run. It doesn't matter. Same thing with the Eagles this year. Last year, Saquon was phenomenal. Breakout season. This year, what's happening? Stalemate. Why? Because the team offensive playbook became very one-dimensional. Look what happened in the last couple of weeks. They throw the ball, they start fucking winning. Let Lamar throw the ball.
Well, to who?
Even when you're up. What do you mean? Zay Flowers is a solid wide receiver. He's a very good wide receiver.
He's a very good wide receiver too.
Very good wide receiver. Who was their wide receiver one? D-Hop?
They don't have one. They don't have one.
Those are good receivers, man. On any team, you put those two guys on any other team in the NFL, and they can help out that team offensively. Realistically, those two guys.
Your best route runner shouldn't be the backup tight end. Maybe I'm an old school football guy.
You're also a guy who didn't think Lamar was probably meant to be a quarterback in the NFL too. Everybody game ain't the same. They are an AAU football team in the NFL. All right, they are an AAU football team in the NFL. They are a bunch of guys that are really, really talented whose job is to find open space and hit him with the ball. Everybody ain't gonna be a Larry Fitzgerald. Everybody ain't going to be a Steve Smith. Everybody ain't going to be a guy there's certain guys that just have that reliability that you expect. Everybody ain't going to be that. Some guy's job is to get an open space and let a quarterback with a fucking rocket for an arm hit you with the ball and catch it. That's all you got to do. D-Hop's got hands like a motherfucker.
Somewhere in Maryland, there's a Baltimore fan who misses Hollywood Brown, and they're not wrong for that.
Oh my goodness.
Other side of the ball. I think this is it for Caleb Williams. Oh. If you lose this game against a shitty defense, against Cooper Rush, you're not it. It's over. It is over. His development has stalled. He looks better than he did last year. He's not looking better to me week over week. He's no longer improving. This game should be a gimme for the Bears. They are loaded with talent. Caleb Williams is not a bad quarterback. Show us that you're a good quarterback. beat a really, really bad Ravens team that allows the Texans to score 40-plus points. The Bears need to win this game. They need to win it convincingly, or I am afraid that the Caleb Williams experiment is already over.
For me, it's their defense that has to win the game. I don't think that this game means as nearly as much for him offensively than defensively. It really, for me, kind of evens out the battle, right? If you don't have Lamar and your team and your defense can just stack the box and they can control the clock of the game, then he just has to be mediocre at best. It's not making mistakes. If he throws interceptions, if he gets sacked, if he makes bad decisions, and his team is it's a close game, or his team's behind, then yeah, it's not working the way it's supposed to be. Otherwise, just game manage. He doesn't need to throw for 3,000 or 4,000 yards this season to have a winning team. I think his division is not nearly what it was last year. Last year was insane. The last couple of years in this division were very, very tough. And so I think now it's kind of evened out a little bit more, and he's got more room to be able to grow and develop, but also not take so much heat for being in such a tough division. I think it's a little softer now, so he can kind of just, kind of develop and play good, clean football. That's really my biggest thing on him, is that, it's the drama. It's the drama that gets into these guys' head. Still a young guy, still got a long career, as long as he starts to really get it together and just kind of take the wins where they come. Like, this game should be a gimme. No Lamar Jackson, we all know what the fucking game plan needs to be. But it's the defense, in my opinion, that's going to tell the difference in this game.
Obviously, every game matters, right? The Bears are 4-2. But if you take the Cowboy game out of Caleb Williams' stat line, he is beyond pedestrian. He is awful. He has 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's averaging like 6 yards per attempt. Like, he's beyond game manager status. Like, the guy really doesn't do much. And to your point, maybe doesn't have to, right? If the Bears are winning games, the Bears are winning games. But the idea behind Caleb Williams for the Bears as an organization was he was finally a real quarterback, right? He was going to be their first 4,000-yard passer ever. He was going to be their first 30-touchdown passer ever in the history of the franchise.
I don't know where the fuck they thought that was going to come from.
Well, he's one of your Oklahoma guys.
Yeah, he's a USC guy. He was an Oklahoma guy.
That pedigree.
Yeah, but sometimes it skips the generation. Honestly, it just the move to USC just wasn't it for me. I think he should have stayed at Oklahoma personally. But when you're, the game management aspect of the NFL is as much about winning games as it is about not losing games. And so at the end of the day, like, what's your job at quarterback today? Is your job to try to throw for 3-4 touchdowns? Or is your job to just make sure that your team is on the field, wasting clock away while you keep the lead? That's your job. Like, I'm sorry, but if they need a game manager, Case Keenum is a third-string quarterback right now. He did a pretty decent job for the Vikings doing that. So you get your shit together, dude. It ain't that crazy to think that, you just need to be good and let your team win these games, these gimme games. This game should be a gimme. It should be. Again, any given Sunday, if Cooper Rush pops in and just goes off, or Huntley for whatever reason goes off, then, like, is that Caleb Williams or is that the Bears defense not doing what it needs to do?
It's fair. It's another division that's defensive pedigree has kind of gone out the window.
Oh, goodness.
So who are you picking? You got the Bears winning this one, or you gonna roll with the Ravens here?
No, I got the Bears winning this game. I expect they're going to play. I expect they should play to their strengths. And just losing Lamar Jackson it's devastating to a team that's obviously built around him on the offensive end. It is. Even the play actions to Derrick Henry, or the play actions out of the backfield, like, it's predicated on Lamar Jackson being Lamar Jackson, and that is not Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is much more like Dak Prescott than he is like Lamar Jackson, which is why he looks so much more successful in Dallas. He's much more like Dak Prescott.
I know you're trying to get me to say stupid shit. You're trying to get me to say stupid shit. The Cowboys look better with Cooper Rush.
I mean,
pretty good slate of games through the rest of the board here. There's some that on the surface look like really bad games that I think are actually going to be the more exciting ones this week. Right off the top, Dolphins, Falcons. There's a couple teams I can't figure out who the hell they are. The Chargers are one. The Falcons are one because this is a game like that Panthers game where everything I look at, every stat I look at, the Falcons are the better team and they win this game going away. Mm-hmm. And there's just something in the back of my mind about this Dolphins team. And it's like they could just win outright against the Falcons. And 100%. I wouldn't be able to tell you why, even looking at the box score.
I can. Concussions. Concussions are the reason why. Look, I believe Tua is out this week again with an unknown illness. But my problem
bleeding from the ears. Yeah,
exactly. My problem is that he should not be playing football anymore. So they should sue whoever is allowing this man to play football. I mean, last week was atrocious. It was absolutely atrocious. He looked terrible. And the fact that they still are like, this is still our guy. We're behind him. It scares me for NFL medical doctors and for organizations. With that being said, everybody in the world knows that Atlanta's Bijan plus. So if you stop him, which is a very difficult thing to do, if you stop him, you can contain it. You can contain Atlanta. And so I think realistically, it's how you are able to game plan. Atlanta needs to do more with the offense they have. They have decent receiver core. I mean, Kyle Pitts still has not been as good as he's supposed to be. But, he's not bad either. London's a solid receiver. Like, they have some pieces on offense. Penix just got to get the ball to where he needs to get it to. Hit his guys in the open field, make good reads.
Penix is out. Penix is out.
Well, there you go. God, Lord. And it still doesn't matter. Like,
we had a chance. Tua is going to play. Penix is out.
So they flopped him.
Yeah. We had a chance to see Quinn Ewers in this one. We probably will see Quinn Ewers in this one at some point.
After the first or second hit where he freaking, oh my goodness, when he gets knocked out or throws his third interception, yeah, Quinn Ewers should be in this game.
I don't know why Tua wants kids to have concussions. That's the only rational thing I can think of. Tua wants kids to get concussions. You are the poster child for concussions in the NFL. Why won't you wear a stupid Guardian cap? Just put on the Guardian cap.
It makes no sense to me. It makes literally no sense.
It's irresponsible.
I completely agree with you. And I think it's irresponsible in the NFL. This man, any given day, looks like he's out there with half a brain cell. And it's probably what's left over. And yeah, he might throw for 300 yards one week when he can see and hear and have direction. And then he fucking just pops up and just slings it down the field to nobody. And I'm like, who the fuck were you throwing to? What was happening here?
He's one of my favorite players to watch. And the Dolphins are a dumpster fire. It's so much fun.
Okay, hear me out. Tua plus concussions equals Jameis Winston plus bad. Jameis Winston pre-vision correction.
Yeah.
Just throwing sometimes you see a guy, you throw it to him and he's the right one or he's not the right one. But he's open.
You're just completing 100% of your passes to someone.
I'm hitting the body. That was the first thing in training camp, hit the body.
Speaking of bad quarterbacks, the Jets play the Bengals this week. Are the Jets going to win a game this year?
It's going to be very tough. The only way the Jets win a game this year is if maybe they would beat the Ravens. Maybe they could beat some team like the Ravens who just aren't built to not have their quarterback. But not going to lie, Joe Flacco's lucked into one of the best possible situations to be in the NFL. He lucked into a team with realistically no expectation, with all of the offensive talent that you could have, and a pretty soft kind of schedule against some not so great teams to be able to really get himself going again. Like it's it's a great situation for him. This Jets team just does not have it for me. I'm sorry, but they just don't have it. And those receivers, the Bengals are hungry. Obviously, the last couple of years, the defense has been very, very disappointing. And so if that defense is moderately better, just a smidgen better, then they're a playoff caliber team. And I don't think, and it's not crazy to say that the drop off between Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow is probably closer than a lot of people would expect in the NFL. It's actually not a bad look for them right now. Like I'd be up on the Bengals going into this back half of the season if he keeps playing well.
He'll definitely get a new contract based off the statistical performance he's going to put up the rest of the year. This guy's going to probably be getting paid until he's 50 years old because like, why not? I mean, we look around the NFL, there's so many bad quarterbacks. If you can have a guy come in and just have like a ho-hum decent game or throw for 400 yards, like why not have him on your roster? Pay him $1 million.
That's why Russ keeps the job.
I did find a win on the Jets schedule if you think they can beat Mitchell Trubisky in the snow. Because they play the Bills January 4th, and there will not be a single Bills starter playing in that game because they'll have locked the division and probably the AFC by then.
Not if the Colts have anything to say about it.
It's fair. All right, well, let's talk the Bills really quick. Bills Panthers feels like a weird one.
This is the game. I knew it, dude. This feels like a game. I don't know what it is, but like the Bills just they have to score 40 points on the Panthers here and not give up 42. Like Tet, in my opinion, is right now on my short list of offensive rookie of the year. The kid's really, really good with the ball. And then Dowdle's not a bad drop off from Chuba as a running back. So I'm like, are they not as like okay? Hear me out. The Panthers are what the Texans were supposed to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Panthers are what the Texans were supposed to be. We were given shit last year about how Bryce Young is a poor man's CJ Stroud, and now it's like, hold on, wait a minute, maybe they're not too bad.
The Panthers are 4-3, and there's a chance we see Hendon Hooker play for them this year. and in the same breath, there's a chance they win the NFC South because it's awful. Like, if I told you that the Panthers won the division, the Bucks would have to slip a little bit, right? But they're only one game back. They're only one game back with, I would argue, a far inferior offensive roster. I don't think that's crazy to say.
You look at go down position to position. It's like, oh, this guy's better. Oh, this guy's clearly better. Oh, he's got more pedigree. He's got more experience. He's just but any given Sunday, man, it's how you put the product together on the field.
I was looking at this line. The line is at 7. It feels too much. I don't.
It's a home game too.
Right? The Bills are objectively good.
But the defense
But we've seen them shit the bed, and the defense is super suspect.
Super suspect.
So can Tet and X and Jalen Coker do enough against that secondary with Andy Dalton throwing the ball? Maybe, probably. If the Panthers score 30, it wouldn't blow me out. Like I'd expect it almost.
It really comes down to whether or not the Panthers can stop the Bills' run game. That's it. If the Panthers can control the Bills' run game, then the Bills become a very much more beatable team. But once the Bills' run game is clicking, then Josh Allen has every option in his arsenal to do whatever he wants. People start biting on every single play action, and that's where you start catching guys. That's when you start catching guys on the back end, you start catching them there. And they've got good receivers. The receivers are solid, but their rush defense is the Bills are terrible rush defense. Their clock management is bad. Like, they're a team. They are the Ravens. They're a team built upon a phenomenal quarterback, a run game that's supposed to be exceptional, and receivers that obviously people expect to catch the ball. But, like, they're not Justin Jefferson. So it's like any given Sunday, a team like Carolina could step in and do some damage. So honestly, I kind of had the Panthers in this game. They're 3-0 at home, and they look like they are not going to slow down.
Yeah, I don't know if I could put any money near this game because I'm just scared to death, but it'll be a fun one to watch.
100%.
49ers, Texans. The Texans and Vegas's obsession with the Texans continues to confuse me. I don't think they're a good team. They obviously can score in bunches. They're favored here by 1.5. I think the Niners are better, but is that enough to beat a Texans team that can score?
I definitely think the Niners are a better team. It's weird to me. I'm like, how are the Niners still like good? It feels weird that they're good like that. But also in the same light, they have been playing away pretty much the entire season. They've only had what 2 or 3 home games.
Yeah,
So
it's like stacked on the back half.
Yeah. So they played 7 games so far, and then 4 of those games have been away, and they won 3-1 in those games. So again, the Niners are a team where again Mac Jones is looking like he's exactly what they need in that organization, and it goes back to the Jimmy G days where you really could put in just a quarterback, a similar-ish quarterback, and they do pretty well with how dynamic the offense is supposed to run. So you get, CMC is playing clean now. He's back in his element. As long as he stays healthy, I mean, that offense is still scary. And the defense has been pedigreed defense for years now. Obviously, they stay healthy. And suddenly you're like, okay, the Niners are that team coming out of that NFC West. So against the Texans team today, I probably lean towards the Niners, but you never really know with the Texans. They could get up real big, scoring some bunches, look like a really good team, or they could just shit the bed and you get another soft game from the Texans. So it's any given Sunday, man.
Purdy has a really shitty game in that Jaguars game, and I'm ready to write this team off, right? And then Mac comes in, and Mac looks better than Purdy to my eye. They beat the Rams. They lose to a Bucs team we think is a playoff team.
Agreed.
I'm ready to write them off again, right? This is them, right? They lose that Bucs game. It's like, this is the Niners. Then they beat the Falcons in a pretty convincing manner, offensively and defensively. And I oscillate back and forth with this team. And I think the only thing I know for sure is that CMC, when healthy, is a beast. And the quarterback doesn't matter. The quarterback in this system is completely irrelevant. And I think that's a strength. I think that's a strength for them because there is no drop-off from Purdy to Mac. So it doesn't matter if somebody gets hurt. You can kind of keep moving. That's really what you need for those deep playoff pushes, right? Someone is going to lose. And I think it speaks, CMC aside, right? Everyone else is interchangeable on that offense. And I think that's a huge strength as we come down the stretch.
Juszczyk is also not interchangeable.
Talking about fullbacks, man.
Say what you will, but he's a receiving fullback. He's a receiving fullback, and there's a small window of guys that we can look at in the NFL that are actually that valuable in a fullback position. Can you name
and me
5
are old
guys?
enough to remember real fullback. There might not be 5 fullbacks on rosters, but I mean, like,
wrong. Like those are guys right there who I'm like, all right, that's my guy. Like fullback,
Vonta Leach caught the ball, man.
Phenomenal fullback. But like, there's only a few guys realistically in the NFL that are that dynamic at fullback. And if you have a guy that can start off in your backfield and then split out as a receiver, that changes the entire dynamic of your offense. Now you've got 2 guys in the backfield who can catch. Changes a lot.
I don't have a counter argument. There are like 14 fullbacks on NFL rosters,
but there's not a lot of good ones. Not a lot of ones. Not a lot of ones worth mentioning.
Well, and you could probably, we're not going to do it, but you could probably name the teams because it's such a weird fucking thing to have a fullback at all. Like Niners, Bills, Ravens, Vikings, Dolphins, Seahawks, Cowboys. Like it's the teams you would think have a fullback. Like, okay. I I've got a note here. I don't know if it's right. It says Colorado lost to Utah 53-7.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. There was supposed to be a note about Shadur Sanders, but somehow I got that mixed up with the other shitty Sanders. Go ahead. I know you have thoughts on Shadur, and I don't think you're wrong. So go ahead and wax poetic.
As a Sooners fan, I always love when one of our quarterbacks gets the limelight, but I'll tell you right now, Dylan Gabriel does not deserve to be that quarterback. It was a waste of time to have drafted him and Shadur in the same draft class. We all knew that coming in. And realistically, the Pats look solid right now. If I'm them, I'm pretty excited about where my team's moving. The Browns, on the other hand, still haven't figured it out, and Shadur should be starting. It's night and day, the difference between him and Gabriel. I just think that they took one or two. I don't know what they decided to do, but looking at the two of them side by side, it's a tough comparison for me to say that Dylan Gabriel should be the starter in that organization. So that's just my opinion.
How in the hell did this team beat the Packers?
Oh,
how?
I mean,
like they held Josh Jacobs to 30 yards rushing. They're bad. They're so bad. Like they lose to the Vikings, who we just shit all over for being awful. Like they were held to 9 points by the Steelers, whose defense we said was awful. They beat the Dolphins. I mean, that's irrelevant.
Everyone really should beat the Dolphins.
This Browns team is like they're too good to be this bad, and they're too bad to be this good. It's like everything they do just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make sense when they lose. Doesn't make sense when they win. The statistical packages they're putting out there. Like looking down this roster, this team is bizarre, and that's why I'm totally with you. Like, let's plug in Shadur. Let's see. Right? I don't think he's an NFL quarterback, and there's a lot of people that work in the NFL that disagree with me. Right? That's why I'm not a head coach or a general manager. But let's see it. Right? Like this Browns season is totally lost. Gabriel ain't it. Show me Shadur. Let's see, and then we're gonna know. Right? I mean, you owe him essentially no money.
Yeah.
Give him 3 games. If he goes 3-0, you have your quarterback. If he goes 0-3, cut him. It's that simple. I mean, there's no risk. You're the Browns.
There is lots of risks. Then you end up just stuck with Dylan Gabriel. I'm sorry. I can't. I would say this. My only caveat is that Shadur Sanders is significantly better in year 2 and 3. I think he's a guy who you give him a year, let him get accustomed to the system. I mean, say what you want about Colorado, but they went from a sub 500 record to an over 500 record in one season. Say the same thing about Jackson State. So I'm just saying, give them a chance.
And now they're back to a sub 500 team. They're awful.
They did just lose. They did just lose a Heisman winner. And say what you want. Say what you want, Rick. They lost the Heisman winner and they lost their starting quarterback. Yeah, you got to develop that team a little bit more. I'm not shitting on Colorado right now. I'm talking about specifically Shadur Sanders and what this team needs to do for the Browns. You need to just commit, let the young guy play, let him cook, let him play. Just give him the season. Give him the season. See how the team responds to him. One of the biggest issues I see in the NFL is when you jump around. The Browns are a terrible organization when it comes to quarterbacks. When you jump around so much, you never get any real leadership. You get no real leadership. Why? Because no one on the team trusts the guy that's going to be the quarterback because they don't know if he's going to be there next week. Any real organization can tell you that.
Sean, I don't want to talk about the Bears right now. Okay, let's stay focused on the Browns.
Look, what did we say? Me and Rick never actually talk about the pod before we actually, we just come on here clean. We never talk about it. But last night I said we're going to play a game where we rank the top 15 Browns quarterbacks from the last 3 years.
I wish it wasn't so funny. Like there are 32 of these organizations. Like the Browns should not be bad. The Bears should not be bad. The Jaguars should not be bad. Like you have unlimited funds. Like hire people who aren't friggin' idiots and draft good players. It's not rocket science.
NFL shouldn't be rocket science. You're right, but some organizations just don't do a great job.
Sean, is there a chance that this Giants-Eagles game signals a changing of the guard in the NFC East?
Absolutely not. No.
This will be
not even close.
The best Giants team that we have seen since Eli's second Super Bowl. Is that fair?
I mean, didn't they make a 2-game playoff run just a season ago or 2 seasons ago with Daniel Jones?
I said what I said.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Here's my thing. I cannot and will not put any expectation on this Giants team until I see a little more than a couple of games. What I love is the fact that they're an energized organization right now, and the fact that they feel confident in the guys that they have. I am glad that Dart got the start over Russ. Realistically, there was no commitment from the fan base. They never really wanted him to come in and expected that he was going to be that great. And when they drafted Dart, they're like, well, this is going to be our guy. Russ is just going to mentor him, whatever the case is. So they decided that, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to switch real quick. Let's just get this guy in here and let's do what we need to do. It was weird when they had him do like 2 random running plays in the middle of a game where Russ is cooking. But hey, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I think that they're confident right now. Their offense looks significantly different than what they're expecting to have this year, which is a good thing. Obviously, losing Neighbors is going to definitely hinder you. He's a very talented receiver, and he's going to have a very good career if he can stay healthy. But the defense still was supposed to be better than it is now, and I think that they need to really get back to that pedigree. Last year, they had a good defense with a terrible offense. And now this year they have a mid-tier of kind of either. The difference for me right now is we watched the Eagles play calling earlier on the season look weirdly pedestrian and look like they don't have somebody who's making the play calls that they should have there. They've lost their OCs the last couple of years, their DCs. So like you look at the change in those players and those guys, and it really changes how your team functions. But we just saw a beautiful performance by Jalen Hurts last week. The man had a perfect passer rating. It's not easy to do. And for anybody who says he's not a good quarterback, he can't throw the ball, I say you look at that game and then you tell me if the man knows what he's doing back there. I think the difference really comes down to, are you going to play a full football game? Are you going to use every weapon at your disposal, or are you just going to look like you're going to look like game managing again? And it really came down to the play calling for me. He's capable of doing it on a phenomenal level. We've seen this man perform at the highest levels in the NFL. We've seen him do the same thing in college. You know, you can say what you want, but at Oklahoma, he was a damn good quarterback. he was a Heisman candidate at Oklahoma. So anybody who thinks that he's not an NFL ready quarterback, obviously something's very wrong with you. You don't understand how well this man is, his mannerisms, his leadership, and his ability to just win. He wins games. So I don't see this being a change in a shit at all. We're talking about the Eagles at home, an angry Eagles team against the Giants. You know how pissed off the Eagles fans are going to be about the Giants this week? Cam Scatterbo is going to look real great running, but you see the leadership that Brandon Graham's about to bring back to this Eagles team. They lost a lot of good guys on defense, whether it was injuries or retirement. They lost a top 75 center in Jason Kelsey, and they had Lane Johnson's been injured earlier in this season. Their team isn't what it was the last couple of years exactly. So I expect that this game right here is going to be a testament to Philadelphia saying, nah, screw that. We're back, baby.
Beat the Bucks, lost to the Broncos, lost to the Giants, barely beat the Vikings. No A.J. Brown in this one. Normally I'd say that would have an impact, but he's been absent all season for the most part. I'm trying to think, in that game against the Giants, he had 6 catches for 80 yards. That's significant for moving the chain, right? That's drive sustaining. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think of where that replacement comes from. Obviously, being at home helps. That is a nasty place to go play football. The line is 7, and I think I want the points. I think if the Eagles can manage to win this game, which they should, right? They are the better team, I think, on paper and on the field.
Okay.
But I think the Giants play them close, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is a field goal one way or the other.
It is a divisional game. It's against 2 franchises who play each other a million times. And obviously, the Giants they know Saquon Barkley. Last year was an anomaly because no matter what you did, nobody was fucking stopping that man. But he looks a lot different this year. The line is different. They're not pulling the same way that they were able to last year, and so it makes it a little bit easier for those pass rushers to be able to get to their spots. And so realistically, the Eagles just need to scheme better. They need to run more play actions. They are gonna if without AJ Brown, who is a threat vertically on the field, you're left with Smith and Dawson, who aren't bad receivers in the slightest. I mean, AJ Brown and Smith are one of the best wide receiver combos in the game. You've still got a solid tight end, so I think they're going to have to lean a little bit more on him up the middle of the field. But if they can scheme enough to have some play actions, hit the tight end in the middle of the field, or a couple of screen passes on the side where the Giants are out of position, and then when it's time, hit that deep threat over top, because every week there's at least 1 to 2 instances where Jalen Hurts has a touchdown toss option to Devontae Smith. Whether or not he hits him is the difference. But every single week he burns the defender at some point, and Jalen puts the ball out there. And when he hits him, easy money. When he doesn't hit him, it's just an incomplete pass. It doesn't mean shit to the game. So they just have to have some sustained drives, and I think that the Giants are a better-looking team, but they're just not there for me yet.
All right, in 30 seconds or less, tell me how the Saints beat the Bucs this week.
Oh, you give Baker Fitz in the backfield. If you give Baker Fitz in the backfield,
right? You have to get to Baker.
You have to. That's it. That's the only option. They are weirdly not as terrible as I thought they were going to be. We called it. So I don't know what's going on with the Saints. Again, Oklahoma pedigree at quarterback, baby. Nah, he's terrible. He's probably the worst of all of the Oklahoma quarterbacks in the NFL right now. But hey, any given Sunday.
This team is doing a 2-year tank for Arch Manning.
I don't know
why. They're plotting for Arch Manning, who I don't think is going to come out, especially now that he's hurt. So I think the Saints end up with Arch Manning 2 years from now. I agree, but I mean, the NFL is weird, man.
You know how I hope ends up being really good? I hope Quinn Ewers ends up being really good, and then all that shit that they talked about, how he was just going to be Arch's backup, and then Arch ends up being a backup, would be hilarious.
We might see him today.
I see him.
Titans, Colts. The Titans are bad. I think that's my takeaway on this game.
I don't understand any pieces.
Firing your coach. Why would you fire your coach? You have nothing on offense, nothing on defense, and a rookie quarterback. Why fire the coach? Why not keep that continuity so that you have a chance to win at some point?
I see what you're saying, but I think if you're going to fire the coach, this is the only time to do it. I think if you're going to do it, if he was already on the hot seat and they brought in Cam and they thought that the coach was going to kind of have this mesh, kind of get him into a groove or something like that, maybe it's the play calling. I don't know, because Cam he's kind of a wild card. He makes some moves and you're like, why the fuck did he do that? But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe he just doesn't have the ear of the locker room. There's elements to it, but I think that there's an issue when I see where coaches have a full season and then they change, and then you fire the head coach at the end of the season, and then that quarterback now has to start over with a new head coach. Whereas now there's nothing to play for. If you were going to get rid of him now anyway, and just kind of give Cam the rest of the season to just kind of get his his scaries out, let him just kind of play some loose football and then move on from there. I don't know. That's just my take. I'm okay with them firing the coach. They're fucking terrible.
When you have a borderline not NFL quarterback and your offense is atrocious, I love Chimere Dike. He's not your wide receiver one. This team has so many holes top to bottom. Uh-huh. I don't understand why, even if your coach sucks, you need continuity, because Cam Ward is this close to not being an NFL quarterback. And to strip everything out from underneath him and around him in his rookie year, you are really pushing the limits of a bottom half organization to the very edges. The Titans aren't this development haven. They don't develop their own players. Cam Ward needs help. He's got Brandon Allen behind him, no head coach, and nothing on this team to prop him up. It's just a crazy idea to me. I don't know what they're thinking will come out of it. Like, who wants the Titans job?
Oh, I could think of a few people. If you're Bill Belichick, take the job.
Jeez, can you
If you're
imagine?
Belichick, take the job.
Cam Ward would win like 3 Super Bowls just because. Like, it'd be awful. Cowboys Broncos is one I'm actually interested in this week. I still don't think the Cowboys are good, but the Broncos keep finding weird ways to let teams stay in games. And if you let the Cowboys hang around, they'll can still beat you.
Yeah, they can put up numbers. They can put up numbers in places. And the one thing about both of these teams is that when they score, they can score in bunches. So this game could very well be like a 17-20 game or like a 35 to 38 game. Like you never really know with the two of them. They both have this weird ability where like once they're locked in, they just look really, really good. But other than that, they just kind of look pedestrian. A lot of 3 and outs, just inconsistency in the run game. And it's like, well, your quarterback play then, and both these quarterbacks are guys who people expect to do things with their legs. Obviously, they expect a little bit more from Bo because of last season. But Dak is supposed to be this accuracy machine, but he's also a guy who's supposed to move the pocket when he needs to and get to his spots. So, I mean, I think that the Cowboys are technically the more talented team here, which is weird. It's not by very much. But I see the Broncos at home. It's going to be loud in Denver. Playing with that air. The air in Denver is very light. It's not going to be as easy. People don't realize that's a big deal up there in Mile High Stadium. So I'm leaning on the Broncos to take this game. But we'll see how it plays out, man. But I'm excited. I think the Broncos take this game, and I think that they really they keep pace. I think that they might come out number 1 in that division if the Chiefs don't get it together.
Throw on the all orange uniforms and beat that ass.
Yeah, that would be fire. That would be fire.
Sunday night football, Packers, Steelers. Not really sure what to expect here. Packers are like 3-point favorites on the road. Well, we've talked a lot about both of these teams, I feel, just kind of by way of talking about their opponents and teams they've beaten or lost to. I think this is kind of a prove-it game, in my opinion. The winner of this game has a shot at making some noise this year, and I think the loser is kind of done. Obviously, the Packers are probably still going to make the playoffs regardless, but I get the feeling that this is kind of a backbreaker game if they lose this one, and the Steelers just need to keep moving forward because eventually the Ravens will start winning games again.
I don't. For me, this is it's a revenge game, but at the same time, the Packers should win this game.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's a revenge game, but the Packers, and it's at home. But the Packers should win this game. On paper, at each position, they should be the better team. I mean, Rodgers any given day can give you 300 plus, but he can also shit the bed. He can give you 3 picks at the same time. Love can miss his receivers, throwing off that back foot. I'm telling you, every fucking time, dude. Especially when he's got a golden down throwing off that back foot. So I think that it comes down to 2 things. It comes down to how well those DNs play because they obviously have the pass rush. It depends on that. It depends on if they attack with the running backs to the blitz side. If they can attack to that side, if they can get around, if Josh Jacobs has a great game, or if Jalen Warren has a good game, that's going to be my deciding factor. I think that obviously the quarterbacks are going to be important, but I think if they can control the line, whichever team really does a better job of controlling the line is going to be the team that wins this game.
I just bet Aaron Rodgers anytime touchdown scorer at 30-1. He's going to have like a naked boot on the 1-yard line, and he's going to do that little skip thing he does into the end zone and piss off all the Packers fans.
Yep, 100%. Unless Micah gets to his ass.
He's going to get him at least once.
At least once, yeah. You count on a sack. Count on at least one Micah Parsons sack this game too. If you guys had the chance.
I wonder if I could just parlay those. Aaron Rodgers anytime touchdown and Micah to have a sack.
Hey, phantom odds, baby.
Washington football team and the Kansas City Chiefs for Monday Night Football. I'm not as excited for this one as I feel like I should be. I think this is actually a good game. Chiefs are like 11.5-point favorites, which is probably fair, but the Commanders are better than people give them credit for.
They are, but the Chiefs are trending upwards right now, and they're getting their players back, and they're playing better football. And I think that they actually do much better in cold weather games. The cooler it gets, the better the Chiefs get. It's weird,
You think
but
it's
it is
just
the
because
case.
they're better across the board physically than almost every team they play? They're better prepared, so when the weather turns, it's amplified.
hmm But I feel like there's an energy that Washington brings right now. They're a younger team. They're a more exciting team. The drop off at quarterback that we saw between Mariota and Jaden Daniels was, it's like, all right, well, this team's still pretty decent, but I don't know, they don't feel like last year. Last year it felt like they were really, really, really streaking last year, and this year it just doesn't feel the same. Chiefs are on an upward trend right now. I expect them to win this game. I think their defense is just going to play well, and it's probably going to give up a turnover or two for Washington, and that'll be the difference in the game.
Well, Scared Terry is back this week. He'll play.
He went
Debo
from
will
scary
play.
Terry to scared Terry.
Scared Terry. Yeah, he's afraid of contact and practice and winning. Debo's back as well. So I mean, this should be the real Commanders team.
Mhm.
Obviously have injuries at running back, but we got Bill's back there.
Go in the backfield. Hey,
I like.
Jeremy McNichols has been balling in that backfield, man.
Yes.
I was talking shit about how they should have kept Brian Robinson Jr., but obviously they did not feel like they needed him, and I don't think that they do. Um, I think that their backfield is actually pretty decent, and I think that if they can do some play action, some boots, and kind of shift the line a little bit, maybe catch the Chiefs off guard. I think that they could do some things.
Yeah, I like Washington to cover the spread here.
Yeah,
I think
I can see that.
the Chiefs are just gonna win this one. Like simple, it's not gonna be like super convincing, but I think they're just gonna
give me
win
a
and coast.
give me a late score in the last minute to kill the spread. To beat the spread to kill the spread. Late score to kill the spread. Like they're down. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be so annoying.
Yeah, no, I can see it. I'm not touching this game now.
Don't touch it with the 10-foot pole. Oh my god.
That's the slate. A whole bunch of people back from injuries this week. Additional people out. Tua's back. Obviously, we just talked about the Washington receivers. Should be a good slate. I'm looking at the board here, and it looks like a good one, man. Is there like one game that you really want to watch?
Probably Bills Panthers. Eagles Giants, obviously, that's love for Philadelphia. But I think Bills Panthers will be a fun one. I know for a fact that the Packers Steelers game is going to be a fun one. So yeah, and then watching Baker anytime is always a good time. So I love to watch the Cowboys lose. So
yeah, this might be an all 22 week for me. We're volunteering this morning at a really inopportune time for football, but it's important to give back to the community.
Absolutely.
Shield Wings doing their stuff. So this might be a week I watch every single game on all 22, like all day on Monday.
Oh yeah. No, I feel you on that. It's going to be a good week though. Good week of football.
Hey, thanks for joining us on Yelling and Screaming. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. Check your lineups, get those bets in. You could get Aaron Rodgers anytime touchdown and that Micah Parsons sack for 55-1.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I locked mine in. All right, Sean, thanks for joining us again this week. This is so much fun.
I know. I love it so much. I'm sorry I wasn't here last week, guys. Unforeseen circumstances, but I'm here. I'm back again, and I ain't going nowhere.
I don't know. Riley wants your job.
Hey, honestly, I love No, and we talked about having some friends on. We have a bunch of friends who love football. Shout out to all of the viewers out there. We really do appreciate that. But we know our group just really, really passionate about sports, and so I'm always curious about having one of the guys on and having their perspective. So anybody want to jump on the pod, let me know. We can throw you in, and we'll have a great discussion.
Hell yeah. Hey, Yelling and Screaming, Club 602. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care, guys.
Peace.